Have you ever wondered why people fall in love with you? Why certain people are drawn to you while others simply pass by? Why someone suddenly shows you affection or attraction as if you were the missing piece of their story? Psychology, when carefully observed, teaches us that people often fall in love with you for only two reasons. And these two reasons can shape the entire journey of your relationships, your friendships, and even the way the world perceives you. The first reason is that you are successful, that you have built something in your life which reflects value, stability, and achievement. And the second reason is that you possess something they don't have, something rare, unique, or desirable, something they long for within themselves but cannot create or acquire on their own. Let us begin by carefully exploring the first reason, success, because in the eyes of the world, success carries an invisible magnetism. It radiates confidence. It whispers a promise of safety and fulfillment. It creates the illusion of certainty in a world that is otherwise filled with uncertainty. And people are naturally drawn to those who have achieved what others are still struggling to achieve. You may not notice it, but when you rise in life, when you reach even a small peak of achievement, suddenly people who never looked at you begin to notice you. Suddenly your words carry more weight. Suddenly your presence feels more important. And this is because human psychology is wired to admire achievement, to connect success with value, to assume that if you have accomplished something significant, you must possess something worth holding on to. But success alone does not explain everything, because love is not just about admiration. It is also about desire. It is about longing for something one does not have. And this brings us to the second reason why people fall in love with you. They are attracted to you because you have something they lack, something they secretly crave. Whether it is your kindness, your creativity, your energy, your unique personality, your rare outlook on life, or even something as subtle as your calmness in situations where they feel restless. In truth, people are often fascinated by those who reflect what they wish to become, who mirror the missing parts of their soul, who seem to embody a strength, a charm, or a beauty that they cannot find within themselves. If you think about it deeply, you will realize that these two reasons are not only powerful but also universal. They apply to almost every bond we form. They are the invisible threads weaving the stories of human connection. And once you recognize them, you begin to see relationships with greater clarity. You begin to understand why some people love you passionately while others, left without a second thought. You begin to accept that love, as much as it feels emotional, is also deeply psychological. Now let's dive deeper, because this is where the truth becomes even more interesting. This is where you realize that love can often be conditional, that many people who fall in love with you may not necessarily fall in love with the real you, but with the idea of you, the reflection of what you represent in their eyes. And this is why sometimes love feels fleeting. This is why sometimes after all the affection and all the promises, people still walk away. It is because the success that attracted them faded or became normal to them, or the quality you had that they admired no longer filled their emptiness, and suddenly they no longer saw in you what they once desired. But this is not meant to make you bitter. This is meant to make you wise, to help you protect your heart, to help you see that your value is not based on who stays or who leaves. Because if people fall in love with you for your success or for something you have that they don't, then remember this. Those two things come from within you. They are born out of your own effort, your own uniqueness, your own journey. And they cannot be taken away unless you let them. You are not just a reflection of what others see in you. You are the source. You're the origin. You're the creator of that success, the owner of that rare quality. And no matter who walks away, those things remain yours. Think about the way society works, how people suddenly treat you differently when they see you drive a better car, or wear finer clothes, or live in a bigger house. And then think about how people are often drawn to those who carry qualities they wish they had. The quiet wisdom of someone who listens more than they speak, the artistic soul who sees beauty in ordinary things, the strong character of someone who refuses to break under pressure. In both cases, people are not falling in love with the true essence of who you are, but with what you symbolize, with what you represent in their imagination. And this is where you must learn to separate genuine love from psychological attraction. Genuine love is rare. It goes beyond success. It goes beyond qualities you may or may not have. Genuine love sees the flaws, the imperfections, the failures, and still chooses to stay. But until you find that, you must understand the reality that most of the love you encounter in life will be filtered through the lens of success and lack, through admiration and desire, through what you have and what they don't. And now let us imagine this in a broader sense. Imagine how many people have entered your life during your lowest moments, when you had no achievements to display, when you had nothing rare to offer, when you were simply existing as a human being trying to make sense of the world. Very few, right? Because people rarely fall in love with ordinary moments. People rarely chase after someone who cannot add value to their life. People rarely notice the quiet and unseen. Yet, the moment you shine, the moment you rise, the moment you offer something they cannot find elsewhere, suddenly you become a center of attention. Suddenly you are not invisible anymore. This truth can feel heavy, but it is also liberating, because once you accept it, you stop expecting everyone to stay. You stop begging for loyalty. You stop holding on to those who only came for what you had, and you begin to cherish those who remain even when you have nothing to give. Psychology tells us that love often begins with attraction to success or to rare qualities, but also tells us that true connection is revealed over time, when those things fade, when life gets hard, when you are stripped down to your most vulnerable self. So the next time someone falls in love with you, don't just ask yourself if they love your success. Don't just ask yourself if they love what you have that they don't. Ask yourself if they love the version of you that is not successful, not perfect, not rare, but human, flawed, and still trying. Because that is where real love exists, beyond psychology, beyond attraction, beyond admiration. It exists in the choice to stay even when the world has taken away the very things that made you shine. Remember this always. People fall in love with you for only two reasons, but you must live in a way that your own love for yourself is not dependent on either. Because when you love yourself beyond your success and beyond your rare qualities, when you learn to love yourself even when the world has nothing to take from you, then you become untouchable. Then you no longer fear who stays or who leaves. Then you no longer question your worth based on external validation.